There we go.
Okay, and then can you show the flag graphic for us? For 15 seconds of respectful silence, we ask that you remain on mute and take this time to personally reflect. Thank you so much. I'd like to introduce Tim Jessen, who will be offering our reflection.
Thank you very much, President Ashley, for this opportunity. I welcome the chance to share a reflection about these very momentous days. This could have been given any Tuesday over the past, yes, 6 months, but it seems particularly relevant today. If there is anything certain about our city and our country today, it is this: we are divided. Our own club is divided over whether to include the pledge to the flag before the reflection, as we have done for many years. If there was a vote today on going to an in-person meeting or staying on Zoom, you got it. We'd be divided. Should students return to school? We are divided. What should we do in this university community? We are divided. To me, the answer to division is not unifying, as often has been suggested by potential political candidates. The better answer for me is healing. And so I'd like contemporary examples of healing and conclude with an introduction to our speaker today. Most of these people I name are in the field of religion. That's my field, and I have reason to know about them, but you think of others from your acquaintances. One is Rabbi Brian Besser. He's been here a good number of years now and seeks to bring his religious community into interaction with Christians and Muslims in particular, and he leads the Multi-Faith Alliance. Another is Forrest Gilmore of Shalom Center. He's been here 10 years, I can't believe it, 10 years, working with the incredibly difficult issue of homelessness, especially in the face of a pandemic. He's also a Unitarian minister, a little more to the left than I am, but a healer in an area where our community still struggles. Father Patrick Hyde is the young pastor of St. Paul Catholic Center. He was selected a few months ago to be the priest that would visit patients dying with the coronavirus. And so, when called on, he dons his protective gear and offers the last rites to a lonely person anxiously wanting him to come. He too is a healer at the time of death. Mary Beth Morgan has served 2 congregations here, sharing her interest in racial justice and reconciliation, particularly with the Bethel African Methodist Episcopal congregation here and in other ways. And I want to add one past, Wayne Martin. I have his wrist band right here, which says, "Never tire of doing good," and Wayne never tired of doing that. He was a healer for those incarcerated and facing difficult times. And then there is Sandy, who will be speaking to us later. She's a Rotarian, whom I know through her church, but also in her concern about Wheeler Mission, its needs, and the people it serves. Later, we'll hear about her amazing mission and the determination and grit she brings to the task. She, too, is a healer. I close with a poem by Marty Haugen, a Lutheran who writes mainly for Catholics. He, too, is a healer and prays. Healer of our every ill, light of each tomorrow, give us peace beyond our fear and hope beyond our sorrow. Give us strength to love each other, every sister, every brother. Spirit of all kindness, be our guide. On this day of division, teach us all your way of healing. Spirit of compassion, fill each and every heart. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Tim. Jim Bright Would you please introduce any visiting Rotarians and any guests that we have today? Jim? Well, I don't see too many guests, but I do see Lynn Tiemann here. Welcome, Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn Tiemann of Bloomington Sunrise. Always good to see you, Lynn. Also, we have with us today Marcus Debro. Marcus has applied for membership in our club, and Marcus is the assistant principal at Bloomington High School North. Welcome, Marcus. We have with us Liz Granat, and Liz is with CJAM. Great to see you, Liz, and we understand that you're considering applying for membership as well. That's absolutely terrific. I see some other friends here too, and I see Celeste McGregor, and Celeste, welcome. Celeste, are you the guest of one of our fellow Rotarians? Okay, let's see, you're on mute, Celeste, but always good to see you. Also here.
Sandy Keller, Jim.
Okay, terrific. Thank you, Sandy, for inviting Celeste. Always good to see you, Celeste. And we have Cynthia here. And Cynthia, welcome. And you are the guest of?
Dave Meyer.
Okay, of course. Dave Meyer's better half. Cynthia, welcome. Also, I see Josie Rice with Wheeler Mission. Of course, they're an organizational member, and Josie, welcome back. Anybody I'm missing? Megan, I see Megan Gerhardt, president of the IU Bloomington Rotary Club, and they have their first meeting of the semester tonight, she tells me. So that's exciting. Welcome, Megan. If nobody else, back to you, Ashley.
Thank you. And thanks again for everyone being here. You're all valued members of this club or esteemed guests, and we'd love to have you back again. Thanks to our producers, Michael Shermis and Sally Gaskell, for running this wonderful meeting. And our roundabout reporter for this week is Glenda Murray. Birthdays: Marilyn Wood, September 5th, Jim Shea, September 6th, immediate past president Aaron Davis, September 7th, and past president John Diltz, also September 7th. Happy birthday. Membership anniversaries: past president Charlie Osborne, September 1st today, 28 years in our club. And Dan Preston, September 7th, 10 years in our club. Thank you for being a part of us. We've got a lot of news to cover today. District Governor Jessica Hayne was honored in a virtual celebration as Co-Woman of the Year with Dr. Tashara Perry. The Bloomington Commission on the Status of Women announced their annual Women's Achievement Awards through a pre-recorded event aired on Women's Equality Day. The virtual event was in lieu of the awards banquet held each March during Women's History Month. Congrats to our District Governor Jessica Hayne. Monroe County Commissioners supported the Forward into Light initiative celebrating the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment. The courthouse was bathed in gold and purple light last week to celebrate, and you can see it through tonight. Here's a picture. Rotarian Liz Feidel put in the request on behalf of the Monroe County Women's Commission. Beautiful. Charlotte Zitlow, Steve and Sandy Moberly, and Glenda Murray participated in the Women's March Saturday, August 29th to celebrate the 19th Amendment again. The event was sponsored by the Monroe County History Center, where there's an exhibit until the end of the year about women in Monroe County who worked to get the right to vote. There's also an exhibit about Sewards with artifacts and information from Rotarian Fred Dunn, a descendant of Austin Seward. And another exhibit, a part of the IU Bicentennial, shows T.C. Steele's time at IU as an artist in residence from 1922 to 1926. Go check it out. One of our newest Rotarians, Connie Shikalis, has become a major contributor to the Herald Times. For example, in the past week, Connie has written about 5 Hoosier authors who are on the shortlist for the Indiana Authors Awards, how the 4th Street Festival of Arts and Crafts has been moved online because of the pandemic, opera singers raising money for Fairview Elementary School by performing online, how a local music composer is working with Jackson Creek Middle School's band and choir director to involve middle school students in making music with professionals, and how the Jewish Theater of Bloomington staged an online reading of a play, The Grandkid. Thank you, Connie, for coverage in our community, and thank you for being a Rotarian. Our own Byron Banger also had a guest column in the Herald Times over the weekend, offering a religious perspective on the relationship of justice and love. Thank you, Byron, for contributing and for being a Rotarian and a voice in our community's news. Now I have two pieces of sad news to share. Don Gating, husband of former Rotarian Josephine Joe Darren, passed away Monday, August 24th.
Oh.
He was 84. Joe was a member of our club from 2005 to 2017. As a member of our club, Joe was quite active, and Don often joined Joe to ring the bell for the Salvation Army and for our social events. Also, late Rotarian Bill Baldwin's widow, Honey Baldwin, has died at age 93. Bill was the head of the IU School of Optometry and joined our club in 2003. Sam Bell was his sponsor. Honey's obituary is in today's paper. Now we have news of celebration, a shift away from the sad news. Africa is to be declared polio-free of the wild polio virus. We have a video to share of Rotarians' involvement in this historic milestone. This is a huge development and something to be celebrated.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Just one moment, here we go.
It's wonderful, but it's not complete because there are other forms of polio that are still in Africa.
Correct.
So we can't give up.
What's the difference?
Don't ask me, but I read the science, right?
The science.
What's been eliminated is the wild polio.
Polio virus, yes.
There are still, unfortunately, vaccine-derived polio
Wow.
cases, maybe only 160, something like that.
Right.
Unfortunately, we're
Not
not getting
160
the,
varieties, but 160 cases.
right. Unfortunately, we're not getting the,
You're not getting the audio, so we'll share this with you in the roundabout. You can find it on LinkedIn and other places. And there's a wonderful video featuring Rotary International President speaking about this with people who have been running the polio efforts that we'll also give you a link to in the roundabout. Sorry about those audio glitches, but we had a nice conversation overlaying it. So certainly something to be celebrated. The work is not done, but we are this close, as they say. Volunteering Service Spotlight. We'll be offering at least one volunteering opportunity every month. Right now we have 4 available. If there's anything that you know of that you'd like to offer to our Rotarians, please let me know and we'll feature it next week. Helping Hands is ongoing. You can sign up to serve people in our community who need grocery delivery, medicines, etc. All the links will be in the roundabout to do that. Friends of Lake Monroe still looking for volunteers for their water sampling blitz that happens on September 18th. Head to their website to sign up, friendsoflakemonroe.org. Wheeler Mission serves 3 meals a day and needs volunteer support through directly serving and providing SAC meals for the shelter. They also have a few virtual opportunities, newsletter, video development. If you're interested, reach out to Josie, who's here today. Hi, Josie. At josierice@wheelermission.org. Check out our roundabout once again for all of that info. And last but certainly not least, Teachers Warehouse needs volunteers almost every day of the week from Monday through Friday. Volunteer by emailing volunteers@teacherswarehouse.org. Whew, lots of announcements today. Thanks for hanging in. And next up is Happy Dollars. I will be the first to share. Thank you to everyone who came out to our first social gathering on Thursday. It was a lot of fun to see everybody at a distance. We were still able to be together and to have lots of great conversation. And we didn't even get to an activity we had planned because there was too much conversation going on. So thank you for being there, and we'll certainly have another one soon, and we'll keep you posted on that. Okay, Jim Bright.
Thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Ashley and Natalie, for bringing us together last week. That was a good time. I'm happy that in just 65 days, we are coming together to honor Bloomington legend Bob Hamill at the 6th annual Bloomington Rotary Toast. And I'm happy that Bob has selected Hoosier Hills Food Bank as his chosen charity in a year in which they really need our support. Now, while the pandemic may keep us from coming together in person, I'm happy that we will live stream this once in a lifetime event into your home and into the homes of 300 others, many of whom will enjoy delicious charcuterie from Blooming Lords that Mike Baker told us about last week. I'm also happy that live streaming will make it possible for friends outside Bloomington to tune in. So if you haven't made your reservations, don't despair. You can still do so at rotarytoast.com. And I will send you a reminder immediately following today's meeting. Thanks for listening, and back to you, Ashley.
Thank you. Anyone else have a happy dollar to share? Josie?
Share. Oh, go ahead.
My kids are going back to school next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that's my happy dollar.
We hear the happiness in your voice, Josie. No more needs to be said. Sally?
I'm very happy because singing is one of the joys of my life. And of course, under COVID, singers have become known as super spreaders. So we're very careful about no longer singing the way we used to. However, my small community chamber choir, Voces Novae, has begun singing on Monday evenings. That's generally when our rehearsals have taken place. From 7 till about 7:45, we find an outdoor space in Bloomington, and we gather very distanced, about 12 to 14 feet apart from each other, wearing special singer's masks that we ordered from New York. And we look like ducks, basically. So it's challenging, but it's really terrific. Last night we gathered on the west side of Bloomington at White Oak Cemetery, and neighborhood residents gathered distanced, masked around us. So we will continue to do this. We'll probably move it up by 15 minutes when the light gets to be a little bit too limited by 7:45. But in any event, I'm very happy about that. So $10 to Teachers Warehouse.
When do you publicize where you are?
We're just rehearsing, so we're not really.
When do you publicize where you're rehearsing?
Okay. We will, I'm also the president of the board of Voces Novae, so thank you for the prompt, Martha. I will send out a newsletter. Generally, if there's a neighborhood association that's nearby, we'll let them know so that they can get the word out. But sometimes we don't know until right before. We have gotten an exemption from the city because now we are sometimes more than 15 people, so we got an exemption from the city to do this every Monday. I'll get the word out. Yeah.
Thank you, Sally. Anyone else have a happy dollar to share? Dave?
I have a happy $5 to share for the League of Women Voters, which is doing a major push in our area for the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage. But also because Indiana has one of the lowest voter participation rates in the country. So I'm volunteering with them and helping them. And I am happy that they are doing that work. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Anyone else? Don't want to close it up too early. Lots to be happy about. All right. So now I will introduce Steve Engel, who will be giving us the introduction to our speaker today.
Thank you, Ashley. I hope everyone can hear me all right. It's a real distinct pleasure for me to introduce Sandy, a fellow club member. You all know her. She's a real force in this community. Sandy is an IU Kelley School graduate, and in 1992, she founded a company called the Absolute Secretary and formed other companies since then of a similar nature, like Bloomington Voicemail and Absolute Marketing and Research, which it morphed into in 2000. So for all that time, she's run this business of her own, an entrepreneur. But knowing Sandy, that wasn't enough for her. So in 1998, she formed a nonprofit here in Monroe County called My Sister's Closet, and most of you are probably familiar with it. It's a 901 or 501c3 nonprofit organization. They help economic women reach economic self-sufficiency, and particularly among low-income and at-risk women. They are referred to her by over 40 different local nonprofits. So that's a pretty good endorsement right there. Female clients are provided with free vouchers for professional interviewing, clothing, image consulting, and so on and so forth to help them re-enter the workforce and become economically self-sufficient and to avoid generational poverty. It's certainly a worthy goal. For her efforts, Sandy has received several Chamber of Commerce awards, including a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2018. So since 1998, she has helped over 2,500 local women toward this worthy goal. And I can tell you, she's a woman of substance. So it's a real, she's going to tell you about this a very worthy, this very worthy effort. And so I think I'll just shut up, and I'm just very proud to introduce my friend, Sandy Keller. Thank you, Sandy. Please welcome Sandy.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Steve, and thank you, Tim, so much for those very kind words. I'm overwhelmed. I'm so honored to be able to have a spot here today and talk about Rotary, about My Sister's Closet. Thank you for letting me be part of the program. I've got about 20 minutes, so I'm going to go through these slides real quickly. As Steve told you, our mission is that we establish to build a stronger community and promote economic self-sufficiency by providing women with the tools, with professional support services and tools for success. In the words of one of our clients, however, she says what we really do is we brainwash other women into believing in themselves so that they can achieve anything. Mm-hmm. Our basic services are that we help women find potential jobs and we give them interview assistance. And that for the main vouchers that we issue, that falls into two categories of advocacy and mentoring, by helping them with resumes and mock interviewing and interview skills training and online job assistance. And we're mostly quite a bit for our image consulting and our confidence tools so that women can work with a mentor. They are given high-end quality clothing so they can interview, and also clothing to fit into the culture of their job. And they're also given accessories and hygiene items. These women walk out with bags of stock, and they're so appreciative and so grateful. Generally, if a woman works with us and uses both parts of these services, we give her about 10 hours of our time with mentors and advocates. This is a quote, not a picture of one of our clients, but a quote from one of them in the past. And she was looking in the mirror, and she said that, I stood there gazing in the mirror, not even able to recognize myself. Staring back at me was someone respectable, important, the kind of person you look up to and take seriously. And I said to myself, you can do this. That woman was from 2018. And she just really went out and surprised us all and got this amazing job afterwards. But that was in her thank you note to us. We also have a Ready to Work program. This program is a 12-week classroom and also store apprenticeship training program. And there's lots of things that we cover in this Ready to Work program, but these clients get paid to go through this program. And so we have a Ready to Work programming room where advocates and mentors come in and they teach different things like business writing and financial literacy and speech and presentation techniques. We have a math tutor come in. We work on all kinds of different things like how to research information on the computer. We also, from the apprentice side, we teach visual display and human resources management and lots of supply chain management from the beginning when something is donated to the end when it's given away to someone or when we actually sell it. We work with skill sets like sales and retail management, and we teach them about in-store and online promotion. These are transferable skill sets that can be used in all kinds of industries. And our women who have gone through our Ready Work program have found really great success using these skills that they didn't have before. You might have heard that we also do community workshops. Some of them you might have heard about are What Women Ought to Know, which is an evening about women and their automobiles, and our Harness event, which is actually an acronym, and it's Healthy Actions and Regimes to Nourish, Empower, Strengthen, and Succeed. These workshops are designed to be able to teach life skills and build confidence and marketability. The Harness event is to help women make healthy choices so they are seen as a more marketable potential employee. And because there are so many things that happen to women with their confidence and how they are treated often when they are getting their cars repaired or when they might be on the road, and get a ticket from policemen or whatever, to know what their rights are and how to be able to make that a better conversation. And probably what we are known for more than anything is our suit events. And we work with the Career Services Council at IU for this, and we have these twice a year. And we bring out about 300 new and gently used suits and jackets and other types of items that you would use in a job interview. We bring in about 8 to 10 clothing mentors during that time to be able to help them make choices. And that's an evening where we have anywhere from 25 to 45 women go home with interview clothing for their interviews that they're going to be going on at IU. Some of the organizations that are our community partners are Bloomington Housing Authority, the Broadview Learning Center, Ivy Tech, the Excel Center, Work One, Voc Rehab, Middleway, the Rise, Amethyst House, Volunteers in Medicine, Shalom Center, Trocochi University, Mother Hubbard's Cupboard. Not all of those issue vouchers. There are several more that do issue vouchers, but this truly is a community partnership where these agencies are allowed to send their clients to us. There is no cost to the agency and there's no cost to the client. And our average client, if she takes advantage of everything that we offer, except for the Ready to Work programming, usually walks out with anywhere from about $700 to $1,500 worth of training and product. We have 85% of the women who come to my sister's closet say that they've been successful in finding a job within just 6 weeks. And if you understood where some of these women were coming from and how difficult it was for them to be able to find a job, you would realize that that is such a cause for celebration. Our clients are, you can't get a voucher if you're just a regular person. The women who get these vouchers are experiencing really low poverty. They're also coming from several at-risk situations, like several of them are coming from situations of homelessness. Many have experienced domestic violence. This slide here shows you the percentages that were taken our program to date and how they fell into things. So many of them are on the edge of homelessness. Many are facing situations of homelessness while they have children or grandchildren. And our rates for emotional and physical violence actually went up last year from 64% to 66%. But there are several reasons why people find themselves in these situations. Anything can happen to any of us at any time. The weather could change, a tornado could come through, and your whole life could change. You could get sick, you could get cancer. A lot of these things that women find themselves in are very difficult. And a lot of times, because they do not have these networks established that are healthy, and they do not have positive people in their lives to be able to give them skills and resources on their own, they end up falling deeper into these situations that are harder for them to get out of. So we try very hard to work with them given their circumstances so that we can be their new network and connect them to positive people in the community so that they don't feel like they are making this journey on their own, and so that they are much more successful going forward. Several of the women coming to us, they fill out this form. It's a satisfaction survey, and they tell us about the things that have happened in their lives, about the different people that they've encountered, the different people they've tried to get away from, the things that happened to them when they were kids. So many of the women that we are working with went to multiple grade schools, for example, or the roof where they lived when they were younger changed on a regular basis, or they were with adults that weren't responsible, or maybe the people who were their parents changed on a regular basis. A great many of the women that we work with tell us that they were in foster care at one time, and that number is about 35 to 40% on an annual basis. And so we hear about early life disruptions and later life disruptions, and it's very, very difficult for these women to be able to do these things on their own, especially if so many of them haven't graduated from high school, or they have very limited computer skills, very limited writing skills, and the ability to be able to, write a resume at all. And so we try to be there for them to help them where they did not have this training themselves. One of our clients who we've given clothes to, we use this quote a lot because this is what she said. She said that when she put on her clothes, it boosted her confidence so much that she wasn't afraid of going on that interview. And she said, these aren't just clothes. It's as if all the hopes and prayers of the women who donated them for me were woven into the fibers. And when I walked into that interview, I knew I was not alone. I knew in spirit they were there with me. And it made her, and she told us later that it made her feel not afraid, and she got the job. So, so I'm going to tell you a client story. This is the story of Talia, who Tim Jensen wrote about in an article a week ago. She was referred to us from Wheeler Mission. She had experienced job loss and homelessness because she had a very, very difficult pregnancy. She liked the job that she was in, but they couldn't keep her because she was not able to be reliable and come to work on a regular basis. She did have a resume, but the resume didn't show her previous skill training. It didn't show her significant experience. She had just gotten bad advice on how to write one, I think. But while she was at Wheeler Mission, she was there about 7 or 8 months in their family housing. And with her 8-year-old daughter, she had a baby while she was living at Wheeler Mission and Bloomington Hospital here. And so when she came to my sister's closet, her youngest was only a couple of months old. And we worked with her for interview skills training, resume composition. We gave her clothing. We helped her make connections. We worked with our community advocates and supporters to help her find a job that was based on her previous training. And it turned out this wasn't on her resume. She had been a lab tech in the past, and she had education in it, and it wasn't on her resume. but she thought because she lived out of the country and it was all in a different language that it wasn't applicable. So she was able to get a really great job with the help of someone. We worked with Bloomington Housing Authority to get her into an apartment that she really loves right now. And finally, we got out the word that here was this young woman who was very courageous and trying very hard, yet she was in a stroller walking her kids around and carrying her baby in all kinds of weather. And we had a car donated for her. And so this is a picture of her holding the keys to her new car. You see that pink bow? That was donated by Mary M's Flowers. They heard about this story and they had to make a bow. And in this picture there, you will see some of the women who are enrolled in our Ready to Work program, our store managers, some of our community volunteers and advocates. It's just one of our favorite pictures. I'm going to tell you another story. This is of April. April is probably one of the clients who's come to us in the past that when she talked, I had to excuse myself several times when doing her intake and go out and get myself together in the parking lot and come back because her story was so violent and her story was so frightening. But at the age of 14, in a community not very far from here, she became pregnant. She got married to a man that was over 10 years her senior, and she left school. She had kids, she held jobs. The only time she quit a job was when her husband put her in the hospital where she had a baby. She with great courage, her story is about taking the reins and actually leaving her abuser with her children and going across state lines to keep them safe. And she ended up meeting the wrong people. She ended up getting a felony without realizing she was involved in a crime. She became homeless, and when we met her, she was living in a van. She was referred to us by one of our partner agencies. I want to say it was Shalom, but also Broadview Learning Center was starting to work with her. But we connected her again because she had stopped working with them. But we encouraged her and had tutors helping her, and she got her HSE, her high school equivalency. We made sure that she had food, a safe place to sleep, and medical care. And eventually she was able to get dentures with volunteers in medicine. And now she's got a great smile. While she was with us, we helped her create a resume. We helped her with interview training, clothes, accessories, and all kinds of things to help her feel like she was going to win. We've been working with her for 4 years. She has had 8 jobs, and now she is in the best paying job of her life, and she would tell you that she's a winner. So I can't tell you her picture, but these are April's steel-toed shoes that were donated by First United Church for her to work on a construction job. And so if you haven't been in my sister's closet, this is a picture of what you would see when you walk inside. You'll see lots of writing on the walls to inspire people, to let them know that they should shop there and have courage and smile. It's really a beautiful boutique. Women only donate the best that they have there. It is definitely not what people would call a thrift store. It is very high end. And these are some of the pictures that you might expect to see from the store. That piece of artwork, stained glass, was donated and created for us by Sharon Porter Phillips at Sherwood Oaks Christian Church, who that church is also a great advocate for my sister's closet. This is a picture of volunteers that you would see during one of the shifts during Martin Luther King weekend celebration. That has about 100 people in it, and that was not all the people that were there that day. My sister's closet has a lot of volunteers, more than 350. We're starting to realize how many more people have actually been volunteering with us. If you would love to shop at my sister's closet and support us, that is the main way that we are able to keep this programming going. And you should know that because of a Rotary connection, Dr. Shandon Sen, who spoke a couple of months ago, we bought an I-wave filter, which through electrostatic technology puts positive and negative ions purposely in our store. What that does is it messes with the exterior membrane of viruses and bacteria. They are not able to duplicate. In a couple of minutes, they die. So it's a very safe place to shop in Bloomington. This is a post from our Giving Tuesday that happened in May, telling people that we needed support. We, like most retail organizations, are down quite a bit on our sales, and we are asking people to give us a chance and consider shopping online through our eBay store, or possibly coming in and supporting us with your dollars. We have wonderful things, but you should know that in 2019, My Sister's Closet directly helped 234 women. So we are busy. We are helping a lot of people. And so that's basically, my stuff. Thank you so much for supporting the mission of My Sister's Closet and helping these very courageous women find independence. I'm very grateful to everyone at Rotary.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Incredible story of the lives you've saved and changed. It's just, I'm sure you could regale us with many, many more tales of the lives that have been impacted by you. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I should tell you that it is not a one-person job. There are lots and lots of women who serve as advocates and mentors that make this possible. This is including our wonderful Celeste here, who's joining us today. And these women just get the most caring people in Bloomington.
That's very apparent. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Sandy?
I do. I'm not quite clear on whether you're open or closed. Are you open for shopping and contributions now, or are you closed?
Yes, we are open, but we have limited our hours to Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6 on Tuesday through Friday, and 10 to 5 on Saturday. We are taking donations, but we're doing them curbside. We've installed a doorbell for people's safety. All our donations are kept in quarantine for 3 days, and then they are steamed. Every single piece that goes out on the floor is steamed to 202 degrees before it goes out on the floor. If a woman tries it on, it goes back into quarantine. We're very, very careful.
Wow, excellent.
Wonderful.
So I have a question about the location. There was discussion at one point about your location. Are you still secure there?
Well, our lease has been extended twice. We now have a lease till June of 2021. We were working hard before COVID hit to try to raise money for that relocation. We're a small organization, so our relocation fund is only about $93,000. But right now, because of COVID, our struggle is actually just to keep the programming going and keep alive. It has been very, very difficult to be able to pay salaries and pay rent. And so we're just trying to keep our head above water right now. We're hoping that we'll be able to get through this.
I have a question. Sandy, what agencies are most prevalent who refer people to you?
We get a lot of vouchers from Work One and Shalom Center, Amethyst House, the Rise Middle Way, Voc Rehab. Gosh, there are so many, but those are probably the bigger ones that use our vouchers on a more regular basis.
Well, what a wonderful effort and what a wonderful resource for our community that you've created, instead of women sitting around and depending on welfare to get by in their lives. You're making them into productive taxpayer citizens, and that's a real accomplishment, Sandy. We're all proud of you.
Nobody wants to do that. Sandy, can you hear me? No.
Yes, I can, Charlotte.
Is your place of business now, is that dependent on what happens with the convention center?
Well, it is and it isn't. like I said, our lease has been extended to June 2021. We know that the $2 million that have been collected with the food and beverage tax, the commissioner's office has very generously given that to Bloomington businesses like hotels that are really struggling.
Yes.
They actually have the resources and land and buildings that they've been buying over 35 years. They have enough to be able to get a bond and start the renovation and construction for the expansion if they wanted to. We've been working very closely with Talisha Kopic and several other people, and we're just putting our faith in the fact that they are going to help us out somehow, and that we're going to be able to get the community involved to keep the program going.
Do you personally oversee a lot of these services?
Yes, I do.
Do you provide them? Yes.
Yes, I do, but I'm somewhat limited myself during COVID because I'm one of these people that can't be in the store as much. But we actually have someone who's a program coordinator who her main job is to work with our clients and to make sure that they are moving forward and to connect them with everyone. And we just got another $25,000 from HAND to be able to pay for that programming.
Wonderful.
Very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Andy, hi, this is Raj. I'm grateful to your presentation today. It did remind me in 2005 when we started for the volunteer in medicine as an institution, which brought almost everyone like the one you described. It touched me. I felt so good about it that you've taken the initiative and proceed forward with the cause. For that aside, I found that the VIM was participant in your program, whether to render care or for training purposes. I thank you for that.
Of course. Volunteers in Medicine doesn't actually refer people. They are a support services organization for our clients. But many of our clients would not have been able to get the help that they need without them. VIM is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see the smile you mentioned. So could you share with us an address to contribute fund to
Yes,
Sister
thank
Closet?
you. Yes, you could send donations to my sister's closet at 414 South College Avenue, Bloomington, Indiana 47403. And if you prefer, you could go online and make a donation through our website, which is sisterscloset.org /donate. And you can make a donation online or send a donation to our website or our post office box.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll include that in the roundabout as well. Thank you so much.
And I want to say a special thank you to Tim. Because of his article a week ago, we've received some very kind donations.
Oh,
wonderful.
Are there other organizations like this elsewhere? Did you
Yes,
find
there
yourself on something, or is this something you created out of whole cloth?
Oh, no. I'm not nearly that creative. In 1998, in March, 60 Minutes aired a program that was featuring something called Dress for Success.
yeah.
They were functioning in New York City. There was a shelter there run by 3 nuns, and a female attorney was one of their volunteers. They got to speaking at one point and they thought, gee, what if we give these women a jacket? Maybe it'll make a difference when they get an interview. And in 1 year's time, from 1997 to March 1998, they had over 800 women get jobs as a result of that idea. So these started springing up everywhere, and we did not join Dress for Success because there's a fee with that. But we were, Bloomington was much smaller then. This was really only supposed to be a 4-month project. We were going to have a 4-foot rack over at Work One, and we were going to put a suit that every woman is in on that 4-foot rack. So for every size that women come in, there would be a representative suit. And so we got the bright idea of asking the Herald Times if they would put in a very small 2-by-2-inch ad into the paper asking for women to bring their clothing to the farmer's market and make a donation. Well, unfortunately or fortunately, that Wednesday, there was a front page article that was like 3/4 of a page talking about this new organization called My Sister's Closet, and that we were going to be at the farmer's market. No pressure at all, but we went to the farmer's market with our board members and that stupid 4-foot rack, and in 5 hours time, we collected half a semi-load of clothing. And so that kind of changed things. That changed a lot, and we've been running to keep up with it ever since. It's the longest 4 months of my life.
Wow.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Do you have a few minutes to stay after for any additional questions? Okay, good. So I'd like to introduce Sally Gaskell to introduce next week's program.
Yes. Next week, September the 8th, our speaker is Scott Dolson, Director of IU Athletics.
And it's going to be a big one. We're going to have lots of people show up for the meeting, so make sure you get here so you can get in one of our breakout rooms, and we'll have a lot of guests to introduce to you. So invite whoever you'd like, and it should be a very lively program. So make sure you're here.
Yep.
Okay, Michael, can you share the 4-way test graphic, please? We'll close the meeting by reciting this together.
Sort of the things
we think,
say,
or do.
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Is
Second,
it fair to our
concern?
Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, beneficial
to all concerned.
And fifth, is it
Is it fun?
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Does anyone have any additional questions for Sandy?
What do you hope that happens next, Sandy? What are you hoping for in your future there with My Sister's Closet?
Well, actually, we're hoping to find a great candidate for our store manager, because our store manager has let us know recently she'll be retiring when she turns 65 this December. And so we are going to try to find someone to work with her for a while to make sure that's a good transition. We are currently interviewing for that new position for the client services coordinator. We're not going to be adding new programming, but we are going to be taking our programming online with the help of the Sophia Travis grant. We have received some money to be able to record a lot of our training and advocacy sessions, so that we will start to, using the Teachers app, be able to have our clients work with us remotely. And that is actually something we thought we would be doing about 3 or 4 years down the road. And because so many of them, because they do not have reliable transportation, they've got small children at home, they might get sick, they don't always come as reliably. But if we're able to have them work from home in the Ready to Work program and just come in the store for the part where they are working in an apprenticeship mode, we think that that will be really successful.
Cool.
Hey, Sandy, can you correct the assumption if it's wrong, that if you only had more money, more donations, et cetera, you would pay more than $9.50 an hour, like a living wage at $13.23 an hour or whatever it is? Is that?
Yeah, we would love to pay more than that. The reason why that's $9.50 is because when we received a Work One grant, they required that for our Ready to Work participants that they make an average of what we were paying everybody at My Sister's Closet. So does that tell you people who are working and working at My Sister's Closet are there because they are it means something to them, that they feel it's important. They are not doing it to get rich. We do not pay benefits. We do not have really good money to pay people what they're worth at all. They absolutely should be making a living wage. So what we are doing right now is we are looking forward to the completion of our first review/audit. And we are targeting different workforce development grants, and with the idea of paying people more money.
And that's great. And I also have to give a testimonial because I was talking with somebody. I tell you even one feature about her that I would notice. You'll know her, but the other people won't. She's blind, and I was talking to her about why, about her clothes, because she says, I'm very visual. And so I go to a place where I know I can get clothes that I really like and have really helpful people. And I said, oh, where's that? She said, my sister's closet. I was like, wow, that's kind of cool, because she can afford to shop anywhere. But she goes there because of the people and what it stands for and all that. So that was
we know her well,
yep.
and she's quite amazing. Really, very, very independent as someone who is blind, but really remarkable and such a huge advocate.
Yeah.
I don't have a question. I just want to say you did a great job, Sandy. I knew you would. So, hooray!
Thank you too.
Sandy.
Hey, Shandy.
Sandy.
Yeah,
what,
sure.
Yeah, I wonder, what can you do with an old possible volunteer?
Are you kidding, Charlotte? I would take you in a heartbeat. Oh my goodness. I would just be so honored.
Well, let's
talk. I've got so many things that I would like your opinion on.
That would be good. Thank you. I'd love to do something.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much. Made my day.
You've got most of my closet, but yeah. Good. Okay. Congratulations. That's very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
I think Josie has left. Are you ready for one more, Ashley, or not?
Go ahead.